what are you hearing from your customers about next year? Do you think, are you hearing any projections on the amount of travel? And, do you have any projections on what you think the new normal will be? Do you think it'll come back to eventually 75%, or do you have any?
We're predicting about 80% of 2019 is where you'll end up next year.
Mhm.
You'll probably get to that level in the second quarter, whereas the first quarter will probably start out at about 50% and then trend up rather quickly, and then it'll flatten out probably around 80. And then seasonality adjustments, all that kind of stuff will come into play. I just don't see us hitting 2019 levels anytime soon. There's just too many dampers on travel. If a vaccine comes out and it's easily available and everybody gets it, okay, that's kind of a game changer, right? I don't care anymore. And so that's all right. Quick swing back to whatever we call normal. But with video conferencing and the adoption of that, that's going to kind of keep it down. The recession is going to impact a lot of companies and the budgets for travel. I mean, it's just all kinds of other things besides COVID that are going to keep, keep us coming from going to that 2019 sort of heyday, 100% kind of level.
One of the many things I've loved about what your company does is you're able to capture better behavioral insights than any other source. And part of it too is what I call the guilt factor. What is that threshold of when somebody chooses a lower fare? Because mine may be $10 in the same hotels, and your may be $30 and 10 miles. Have you noticed when you continue to collect this as we're doing the recovery phase and during the crisis phase, any behavioral changes or other insights gained based on your program?
Yeah, I think a lot of travel managers are really surprised at sort of traveler behavior when they receive a lower rate offer at a better hotel across the street that could save the company $100. Their initial reaction is, 80%, we'll say, okay, we'll accept it. But in reality, it's more like 20%, 25%. And when we dug into it, the predominant reason for that is points. I want to stay at this hotel because I'm trying to get the points, and I'm willing to overpay by 10%, 20%, whatever it might be, in order for that to happen. And it just takes a while for a travel manager to kind of come to the realization that, unfortunately, travelers are going to follow the points and kind of, go for their own self-benefit. It's not their money, so to speak. So there's better ways to implement it so that it goes to either an individual or, we automatically move them and the traveler has to undo it, which kind of pushes it up, rather significantly. Yeah, the two most surprising things, though, for me in doing all this was the lack of awareness of how much a discount a static rate actually provides. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a rate of $189, and then how much of a discount am I actually getting? Is that 10%, 30%, 20%? And it seems like most individuals that have been in the industry forever just had really not much of a sense for what that discount is. And then the other one is, how often am I getting it? When we first got into this, we were seeing the actual application being about 60% of the time you were getting your static rate. Now, I think we've been able to push that up for our clients to 75 and 80%, but I think for the majority that don't have a solution, it's still sitting around 60%. So I'm just, it's kind of a head scratcher to think how the industry could be set up for this long without really knowing, those two things. Because what we're trying to do is help clients transition from static to dynamic.
Agreed. I'm a dynamic fan all day long, as you know.
Right. All right.
Fixed rates are plagued with problems. And this is yet another example as we're going through the current journey where dynamic works.
I think using COVID as a way to think differently is kind of the silver lining, at least for us in all this, is that if without COVID, we just status quo, we would have kept doing what we're doing and not a whole lot of change. But because of COVID, we've had to take a step back, rethink the value that we're providing to the industry. And I think it's giving travel managers a chance to rethink how they procure hotels. And look, just try something new. The old model's broke. Just sitting on your hands for the next year and a half is not going to work. So here's something new to try, which we think is fairly low risk. It's no cost, and we believe it'll provide a lot more value over the next 2 to 3 years. And it seems to be resonating pretty well. We've had a lot of chain conversations. We've met with IHG, Hilton, Marriott, Radisson, and so on. And all of them have been very receptive to it. Just like your point at Hilton, you know, if this is what it takes to get clients to transition to dynamic, you know, we're all in. The challenge for them is we have nobody available to negotiate. So whatever it is, it's got to be very consistent, very easy. You know, I just check a box and 100 deals get done. So we're working with the chains to make that happen. And I think we've got some pretty good solutions there. So anyway, I mean, I think when we look back 2 or 3 years from now at the COVID period, I know that personally, I'll look back and think, you know, that was a net positive for our company and all the good things that happened from it. Yeah, it was scary because we thought, holy crap, you know, we could be out of business if this thing lasts forever. But 2020 hindsight, we're already seeing a recovery. Things are bouncing back. And the end result is I think we're a much better company providing more value to our clients.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're seeing the same thing. You know, we're not a transactionally driven commercial model. And we're finding our customers, and certainly our pipeline represents that. People are looking to data more than ever, and they need kind of a trusted source of you know, a third party that can provide that for them in its aggregated state. And that's why we've been doing very well. We've been growing, we've been hiring. So we're going to look back, I think, very similar to what you have.